This is the newest 3T Extrema Italia gravel bike, and in this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and also I will tell you, should you just go ahead and buy this bike or should you just shortlist this bike. So hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. As I was saying, this is the latest, greatest 3T bike, and specifically their Extrema Italia gravel bike. It's a truly stunning gravel bike on the market and pretty unique gravel bike currently on the market. So what do I mean by that? So who is this bike for? I would put it like this. So if you like gravel riding, going a bit off-road, but you like a bit of extreme gravel riding, almost on the edge of being, mountain biking, then definitely you need to consider this 3T Extrema Italia gravel bike. So basically the clue is in the name, as it says Extrema gravel bike. Now we can talk about the paint scheme on this bike. And in my opinion, there are these two beautiful paint schemes for this bike. The first one is this beautiful metallic green with a little hint of 3T logo, and then you have this beautiful kind of dark red with hints of orange, another beautiful paint scheme from 3T. And I'm really glad that as an Italian company, they've really put the efforts into nicely looking paint schemes and nicely looking bike. Of course, when we consider the retail price of this bike at $8,000, you will definitely be glad that there are at least two paint schemes to choose from. So speaking about the price of this bike, as I said, $8,000 or 6,700 British pounds, so definitely eye-watering price on this gravel bike, but we will dive into the specifications and really see what are you getting for your hard-earned money. Also, I can talk about here the big secret sauce of this bike, and in my opinion, this is the production of this carbon fiber frame and the fork. So specifically, what do I mean by that? So this carbon fiber frame and the fork is 100% made in Italy, which is such a rare thing today, because as you know, more than 90% of carbon fiber frames and forks come from the Far East, usually from China or Taiwan, because they have a huge experience in making these carbon fiber pieces. So to make this carbon fiber frame and the fork in Italy is truly a remarkable feat, and as far as I know, the only other company which produces their carbon fiber frames and forks in Europe is Time Bicycles. I also believe that Look Bicycles have their manufacturing somewhere in North Africa, but I'm not so sure if Look has any factories, for example, in France. So, as it is now, you will definitely pay a premium on this carbon fiber frame and the fork because it is 100% made in Italy with their own, proprietary processes. Also, when it comes to this carbon fiber frame and the fork, the warranty is 5 years on this carbon fiber frame, which is, perfectly fine, standard with some other bike manufacturers. Of course, I wish that at some point 3T would move to the lifetime warranty on their carbon fiber frames, but it is what it is with this now. Some of the other highlights of this carbon fiber frame, as you see, this is highly aerodynamically optimized carbon fiber frame and the fork, and 3T was one of the first companies who did this aerodynamically optimized gravel bikes. So for example, the down tube is a huge width. I believe this section at the bottom is about 75 millimeters, at the top about 60 millimeters. So the huge kind of aerodynamically optimized shapes on this bike. And also, if you see the positioning of the rear wheel, very close to the seat tube. Also the front wheel, very close to the carbon fiber frame. So everything kind of designed for the benefits of aerodynamics on your gravel bike. Also, I have to mention here that the mud clearance, of course, on this tight-fitting tires will be, minimum, but it is kind of the price you pay for having an aerodynamically optimized bike. So without with this carbon fiber frame and the fork out of the way, we can dive into other specifications of this bike and really see what do you get for your $8,000. Of course, with this carbon fiber frame and the fork, there is of course 12mm through axles both front and the back. Also the direct mount hydraulic disc brakes front and the back. So kind of classical, specifications of carbon fiber frames today. When it comes to the handlebar and the stem, this is a carbon fiber piece, handlebar and the stem. This is not a one-piece affair, so it is two pieces, handlebar and the stem, which is really nice because it gives you some freedom in, for example, adjusting your position or changing any components, and also it will depend definitely on the sizing of the frame, what is the handlebar width. So for example, for the sizes 54 and 56 on this frame, you will have a 42 centimeters wide handlebar, which is also paired with, for example, a 100mm stem or 90mm stem. As I said, carbon fiber pieces in this instance, very nice and excellent thing that they are still separate pieces. When it comes to the group set on this bike specifically, I'm looking at their offering, which is $8,000, which comes with the combination of SRAM Rival and the GX Eagle Access group set. So what do I mean by that is that when you look at the rear mech, this is from the mountain bike world, SRAM GX Eagle transmission, paired with the shifter, which is the SRAM Rival Access. So this is a full wireless group set, no cables here, and only single chainring at the front, SRAM Rival chainring, which is a 40-tooth chainring at the front, and this is also paired with the SRAM GX Eagle cassette, a huge cassette, 1052 range at the back. So with this 1052 cassette and the 40-tooth chainring at the front, you will definitely have a huge range of these 12 gears. And absolutely, there's no problem in attacking any steep mountains or spending a lot of time in the saddle. But it's also a very interesting combination of the mountain bike components and the road bike components. When it comes to the hydraulic disc brakes, SRAM Rival hydraulic disc brakes front and the back, 160mm braking rotors, SRAM Rival Paceline rotors, pretty standard thing here, very good heat dissipation, and I'm glad that they are using 160mm rotors both front and the back, so no cutting corners here. Now let's talk about the wheel set on this bike, which again is a nice addition of the Zip 303S tubeless wheel set. So this wheel set, some of the highlights of this wheel set include classical carbon fiber wheel set from Zip. If you would buy it on the open market, roughly speaking, 1,200 euros for this wheel set. And I have to mention here that this wheel set, it is a hookless design rim. So just keep that in mind, because the maximum pressure you can use on this wheel set is going to be, I think, 73 psi, correct? And also this carbon fiber wheel set comes with Zip own hubs. They are 176 hub and 76 hub, seal cartridge bearings. I can't comment here much about the reliability of these hubs. And this wheel set, of course, is tubeless ready and tubeless tires only, with the rim depth of 45mm. And the total weight of this wheel set is 1,530 grams, which is a very light wheel set in my opinion. Also, you know, when it comes to this combination of this wheel set with the tires on this bike, this is a really interesting combination. So they are using a Continental Race King tire, 50mm tire. So this Race King tire is again the tire from the mountain bike world, and in this combination of 50mm is a really wide tire. You can easily use it on the mountain bikes, and funnily enough, this frame and the fork can accept tires all the way to 57mm. So you can definitely ride your mountain bike tires, 29-inch by 2.1 by 2.2 inches on this gravel bike, which is just stunning. And definitely this huge air volume in this tire is going to contribute to smoother bike ride. So this is something definitely novel in this kind of industry of the gravel bikes, and probably some other manufacturers will follow with these very wide tires. That's why the name of this bike is Extrema, 3T Extrema. So if you like the gravel riding on the bit of extreme edge, then definitely these 50mm tires are absolutely superb. When it comes to the seat post and the saddle, this is a classical 3T carbon fiber seat post, 27.2 millimeters on this specific model. On some other higher level models in their lineup, you can have a RockShox Reverb dropper seat post, not in this iteration. So as I said, classical 3T carbon fiber seat post, in my opinion, totally fine. It's going to soak up some of the smaller bumps, and it is paired with the San Marco saddle. Usually, in my opinion, San Marco makes very good saddles, but since saddles are a bit of a personal preference, you can definitely decide, to keep it or replace it as you wish. So, in a summary, what would be my advice to you when you are considering this 3T Extrema gravel bike with a retail price of $8,000 or 6,800 British pounds? I think you should definitely shortlist this bike. It is a bit of a unique gravel bike on the market, specifically because of these huge wide tires, the bit of specifically, designed, aerodynamically optimized carbon fiber frame and fork for gravel riding. And definitely the secret sauce, the unique thing here is that this carbon fiber frame and the fork are made in Italy, so you will always pay a premium for that. And definitely, some people will always like it to be made in the European Union. Maybe, is it just because of the heritage or a certain quality control? So this is kind of the secret sauce of this bike, and that's why you will pay this premium of $8,000. Of course, you can find a much better value on the market if you are just into gravel bike riding, but as it is for this $8,000, I can just say shortlist this bike. Looks absolutely stunning, beautiful, has a huge wide tires, huge air volume, and this kind of secret sauce of 100% made in Italy carbon fiber frame and the fork. So I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!